So we're going to start with some chaining, and we're going to change one little sound to make a new word. I want everybody's eyes up here and everybody following along. Everybody say start.
Start.
Change the t to a ch.
Start.
Starch. Now we have starch. I want you to say starch without the st.
Arch.
Now we have arch. Change the ch to an
Arch.
Oh, let's try that one again. We have arch. Change the ch to an
March.
Oh, you guys are adding it to the beginning. Listen carefully. You're changing the ending sound. Everybody say arch.
Arch.
Now change the ch to an
Arm.
Arm. We're changing that ending sound. Now we have arm. Add a to the beginning of arm.
Arm.
Good. Now we have harm. Change the to a t.
Heart.
Heart. Now we have heart. Change the h to a d.
Dart.
Very good. Now we have dart. Change the t to a k.
Cart.
Oh, I want you to listen to that one again. We have dart. Change the t to a k.
Dark.
Dark. Now we have dark. Add to the end of dark.
Darker.
Now we have darker. Change the d to an
Marker. Marker.
Marker. All right, so we started with start. We kept making one little change, and we ended up with marker. We're going to put some word on the curve now. I want to see everybody making their curves with me and everybody following along. We live in a very big world.
We live in a very big world.
World is the word on the curve.
World is the word on the curve.
Take the l out of world to make a new word.
World.
Good. Word is the new word on the curve.
Word is the new word on the curve.
World.
World.
Change to word.
Word.
Because we took a sound out of the
In.
Very good. Let's do another one. We ate a feast of food to celebrate last night.
We ate a piece of food to celebrate last night.
Feast is the word on the curve.
Feast is the word on the curve.
Say feast without the s.
Feast.
Good. Feet is the new word on the curve.
Feet is the new word on the curve.
Feast.
Feast.
Change to feet
Feet.
because we deleted a sound from the
N.
Good. Let's do another one. Chris and Lauren played tuba in the marching band.
Chris and Laura played the tube in the march.
We're going to redo that one. Everybody listen closely. Chris and Laura played tuba in the marching band.
Chris and Laura played tube in the marching band.
Band is the word on the curve.
Band is the word on the curve.
Say band without the
Band. Band.
We're going to do that one again. Everybody listen. Say band without the I'm hearing a couple of you getting it. Let's look. Everybody look up here. B-and-d. We want to take that out. What word would we have now? Bad. B-a-d. Bad is the new word on the curve.
Bad is the new word on the curve.
Band.
Band.
Change to bad
Bad.
because we deleted a sound from the
N.
Good. All right, we've got two more. Can you lend me your costume for the party?
Can you lend me your costume for the party?
Lend is the word on the curve.
Lend is the word on the curve.
Say lend without the
Lend.
Good. Lead is the new word on the curve.
Lead is the new word on the curve.
Lend.
Lend.
Change to lead
Lead.
because we deleted a sound from the
N.
All right, we've got one more. I want to hear everybody. You're doing good. I learned to chunk sounds together to read.
I learned to chunk sounds together to read.
Chunk is the word on the curve.
Chunk is the word on the curve.
Say chunk without the sound.
Chuck.
Good. Chuck is the new word on the curve.
Chuck is the new word on the curve.
Chunk.
Chunk.
Change to chuck
Chuck.
because we deleted a sound from the
N.
Very good. All right, everybody turn your listening ears on. I'm going to give you some mixed up words. Remember, I am only mixing up the first sounds. I'm not adding sounds. I'm not taking sounds away. I'm swapping the first sounds. If you think you can figure it out, raise your hand. Manse to the Duzik. Manse to the Duzik. What do you think, Caleb?
Dance to the music.
Very good. Dance to the music. So we switched the D and the All right, here's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about a new focus spelling that we're going to talk about for the sound. We're going to practice with a worksheet, and then we are going to read a brand new reader that I think you guys are going to like. So we have our brand new Unit 5 reader that we're going to start today. All right, let's look at this spelling tree we looked at yesterday. What sound is this tree for? It's for the sound. So what letter makes the sound most of the time? Raise your hand. What letter says most of the time? Ariana? Just a U. But yesterday we started learning about some new spellings for the sound. And today we're going to focus on the O when it says the sound. Who can tell me what sound O usually makes? What is the most common O sound? Easton? Ah. What's another sound if it's a long O? What's it going to say? What would a long O sound be, Amara? O. So today we're not talking about ah or O. We're going to talk about when it says the sound. So we're going to talk about when O can be a spelling for the sound. So we talked about ah like in box, fox, and mom. We talked about O like in no, so, and go. And today we're going to be talking about it when it says the sound. So I don't want you to get your code charts out yet. I will tell you when I want you to. Right now I just want you to look at the card. Everybody read this word in your head. And I'm going to draw a duck to read it out loud to me. Number 18. What is this word? Sun. What does the O say in sun, number 21? It doesn't say U. What's the sound it says? Tell me what the power bar looks like for this spelling, number 19. Not very full, but is it super tiny? No, so it's a little less than probably halfway. So you're going to use the O spelling for the sound a little less than half the time. It's not the most common spelling, but you are going to see it sometimes. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to get your code chart out. I want you to find the sun card with the O spelling for the sound. Trace it with your green crayon. When you have it, leave it on your desk and touch your nose. When you have it, leave your code chart on your desk and touch your nose so I know you're ready. Green. So you're finding the O spelling for the sound. See, Easton and Natalie have it. Alyssa has it. Kaden has it. Thank you to my friends who remember my directions to touch your nose to let me know you're ready. So there's your sound. Now look for your O spelling. Good job. What were your directions? Leave your code chart open. Look for your sound. Where's your sound at? Okay, where's your O spelling? Good. All right, when you have that, I want you to leave that out and open, but kind of slide it to the corner of your desk where it's out of the way. We're going to come back to that in a few minutes. All right, right now we're going to practice reading some words where you're going to see the O spelling for the sound. And we're going to popcorn read. So I'm going to call on someone to start us, and you're going to popcorn who you want to read next. All right, so when I write it, I'm going to give everybody a second to read it in their own head. And then I'm going to call on the reader. And then when it's their turn, I'm going to give everybody a second to read it in their head. And then I'm going to ask them who they want to popcorn. So here's our first word. I'm going to give everybody a couple seconds to read that in your head. Remember, your O is not going to make the normal O sound. I'm going to call on a reader in just a second. Marcel, read us this word.
Cover.
Cover. Marcel, what sound is the O saying in cover? Very good. All right, here's your next word. Everybody read that in your head. Marcel, who would you like to popcorn? All right, Levi, read that word for me. Sound it out. What does M say, Levi? What sound does an M make? Now, what sound are we talking about for the O? We're talking about a special sound for it. All right, what does TH say?
Mother.
Mother, very good. And Levi, what sound is your O saying in mother?
O.
It's not saying O, what's it saying? You just told me. All right, here's our next word. I'm going to give everybody a second to read it. All right, Levi, who would you like to popcorn? Three?
KW.
All right, KDW. I can't hear you.
Word.
Nope, let's sound it out. What's this W say? Okay. What is our special sound for the O in this word? And what does this say? This is the N. So what's our word? Nope, sound it out again. What? One. Very good. All right, what does the O say in this word, Katie? It doesn't say you. What's the sound that it says? All right, very good. Here's your next word. Everybody read that in your head. Katie, who do you like to popcorn? All right, Caden, what is this word? Brother. And what does your O say in brother? Very good. We've got one more. All right, everybody read it in your head. Caden, who do you like to popcorn? Xavier. And what does your O say in month, Xavier? Very good. All right, we are going to add some words to our tree today. We are going to read some of them together. Some of them I may call on a reader, and then I'm going to call on someone sitting nicely to put it on the correct branch on our tree, on our U tree. All right, we're going to read this first one together when I count to 3. In a whisper voice. 1, 2, 3. Dozen. What letter in this word says Amara?
O.
The O. Go put this on the correct spelling tree, Ariella. And you may kind of have to go out to the side a little bit so it'll fit. That'll be fine. Very good. It's going to go on the O branch. All right, let's read this one together. 1, 2, 3. 1, and that's one of the words we just practiced on the board. Go put that on the correct branch, Philo. Oh, now I want you to look at that closely. What letter is saying the sound in 1?
The O.
Okay, so what branch is it going to go on? It's going to go on U? Does that have a U in it? Look at your choices. There you go. It's going to go on the O because the sound is spelled with an O. All right, I'm going to pick a reader for this one. I want everyone to read it in their head, and then I'm going to let you know who I want to read it out loud. Emily, read that word out loud for us.
Thunder.
Thunder, very good. Emily, what letter in thunder says the sound?
The U.
The U. All right, so go put this one on the correct branch, KDW. So I may have some mixed in with the O's. May not all be O's. Very good. So you're going to put that on a U branch. All right, we're going to read this one all together on the count of 3 in a whisper voice. 1, 2, 3. Trumpet. Natalie, what letter in trumpet says the sound? A U. Go put that on the correct branch, Kinsley. You can put it out to the side if you need to. Very good. It's going to go on one of those U branches. All right, I'm going to call on a reader for this one. Everybody read it in your head. Read it out loud for me. Let's see. Holly.
Month.
Month. Very good. Holly, what letter in month is saying the sound?
Yeah.
The O. Go put it on our spelling tree, Easton. Very good. It's going to go on the O branch. All right, I'm going to call on a reader for this one. Everybody read it in your head.
Emily.
Read me this word, Katie A.
Money.
What letter in money is saying the sound?
The O.
The O. Go put that on the correct branch on the spelling tree, Kaden. You can kind of put it out to the side. It doesn't have to be exactly on the branch. Very good. The O branch. We're going to read this one together. 1, 2, 3. Sun. Go put sun on the correct branch on the tree, Levi. Very good. It's going to go on the O branch. We're going to read this one together. 1, 2, 3. Wonder. Go put wonder on the correct branch, Alyssa. The O branch. Very good. I'm going to call on a reader for this one. Everybody read in your head. Ariana, read the word for us. Husband. And Ariana, what letter in husband says The U. Caleb, come put this on the correct branch on our spelling tree. Very good, on the U branch. All together on this one, read in your head. 1, 2, 3. Cover. Carson, go put cover on the correct branch on our spelling tree. Very good. It's going to go on that O branch. All right, we're going to do this one together. Read in your head. 1, 2, 3. Front. McCaitlin, go put front on the correct branch on the spelling tree. So McCaitlin, what letter in front is saying the sound? Okay, so there you go. It's going to go on the O branch. And last one, I'm going to call on a reader. Everybody read in your head. Amara, read us this word.
Crunchy.
Crunchy, very good. Go put crunchy on the spelling tree. Natalie. And it's going to go on our U branch. Very good. All right, I want everybody to look back at your code chart, and I want you to look at your row that you have for the spellings for the sound. So look at your row on your code chart. I want you to see how many boxes we have circled in that row. So look and see how many boxes we have circled for the sound. Kinsley, how many boxes have you circled for the sound? So far we have learned about 2. Now we previewed a couple more yesterday. We're going to learn more about those later in the week, but we've really focused on 2 different spellings for the sound. So Amara, tell me one of those spellings.
But.
The word is but. What is the spelling? It's and we spell it with a. All right, so we have but. It has the sound spelled with a U. Let's look at the other one. What is our other word in spelling, Philip?
Sun.
And it has the sound spelled with a what? Oh, very good. All right, so we will learn some more of those spellings later in the week. Go ahead and put your code chart away. And while you're putting your code chart away, I'm going to come give you a worksheet. You're going to be on the side that says 2.1. Write your name on it. Do not do anything else yet. If you have your name on your paper, give me a thumbs up. All right, we are going to do a word sort on the front of this worksheet. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at these words. We are going to decide if they're going to go in the column for the sound spelled with a U or the sound spelled with a O. So on this side we have spelled with a U, like in what? I want to hear everybody.
Doug.
Not Doug.
Bug.
Bug. On this side we have spelled with an O, like in other. So we've got to decide which column the word is going to go in. They already did rush for you, and they put rush on the side where is spelled with a U. You can see your U right here. Everybody circle your U and rush. So we are going to sort them, and then we are going to circle the letter that says the sound. All right, read this word for me, Caleb. Trust. And Caleb, are we going to put trust? We'll call this side 1, and we'll call this side 2. So Caleb, are we going to put trust on side 1 or side 2?
Side 1.
And why is it going to go on side 1, Caleb?
Because it doesn't have an O.
It does not have a O. What letter spells the sound in trust? U. All right, everybody write trust and circle your U. All right, after you've used it, mark it out. And we're going to go to the next word. Marcel, read us the next word. Bunch. Marcel, is bunch going to go on side 1 or side 2? And why is it going to go on side 1? It has a U and it has the sound spelled with a U. So everybody write bunch and circle your U. And then mark it out. Does anyone think they could give me a sentence with the word bunch? Xavier?
I have a bunch of video games.
I have a bunch of video games. Okay, does anyone think they can give me a sentence with the word trust? Philip? Okay, he added ED to it. The boy trusted his mom. Does anyone think they can give me a sentence with the word rush? Ariella?
I rushed to school today.
All right, so she made hers past tense as well. I rushed to school today. Let's look at the next word. Read me this next word, KDW. Sun. KDW, is sun going to go on side 1 or side 2? And why would it be on side 2? What is it spelled with? An O. So everybody write sun, and the sound is spelled with an O, so circle your O. Give me a sentence with the word sun, Levi. Now this is not talking about like the sun in the sky. This is talking about like you're your dad's son. So can you give me a sentence with the word sun? My son cleaned my room. Good. All right, read me this next word, Kinsley. Month. Kinsley, is month going to go on side 1 or side 2? And why is it going to go on side 2? It's spelled with an O, so everybody write month on side 2. And circle your O, spelling for the sound. Give me a sentence with the word month, Marcel.
February is a month.
February is a month. Good. Read me this next word, Easton.
Ugly.
Which side is ugly going to go on, Easton? Why is it going to go on side 1?
Because it has the U is making the sound.
Very good. The U is making the sound, so circle your U. Give me a sentence with the word ugly, Ariana.
I saw
An ugly what?
fence.
Fence. I saw an ugly fence. Good. All right, read me this next word, Xavier.
Mother.
Xavier, which side is mother going to go on?
Side 2.
And why would mother go on side 2?
Because it has an O instead of a U.
And what sound is that O saying? All right, everybody circle your O in mother and put it on side 2. Caleb, give me a sentence with the word mother.
My mother is nice.
My mother is nice. Caden, read me this word.
Until
Which side would until go on, Caden?
1.
And why would it go on 1? It has a U. What sounds the U saying, Caden? All right, everybody writing on side 1, circle your U. Give me a sentence with the word until, Holly.
I'll go to the store until tomorrow.
All right, I won't go to the store until tomorrow. All right, here's what you're going to do with these last 4. You're going to sort them on your own, put them on the right column, and circle the letter that says the sound. While you're working, me and Miss Michelle are going to walk around, make sure you're doing it correctly, and in just a couple minutes, we'll check it on the board. Be sure you're circling the letter that says the sound as well. Saying some good work. Good. Be sure you're circling your letter that says the sound. All right, good. Good, looking good. Like how you remember to circle your letters. All right, flip that back over. We're going to check it. All right, I saw some really good work. We're going to quickly check it. So let me get my ducks. I'm going to call them some ducks to read me these last 4 words. Number 20, read me this first word and tell me where it's going to go. On side 1. Why is it going on side 1, Marcel? Very good. Marcel, give me a sentence with the word truck. My dad has a truck. Number 9, read me this word.
Unkind.
And Philip, where is unkind going to go?
On side 1.
And why is it going to go on side 1?
Because it says instead of
Well, they both say but what is it spelled with, Philip?
a U.
A U. Give me a sentence with unkind.
The boy was unkind.
The boy was unkind. Number 1, read me this next word.
Money.
And what side is money going to go on, Katie?
You spelled out 2.
On number 2. And what letter did we spell it with?
We spelled it with the O.
We spelled the sound with the O in money. Give me a sentence with money.
The boy has some money.
The boy has some money. All right, number 17. Levi, read me this last word. Front. Levi, which side did you put front on?
1.
You put it on side 1?
Yeah.
That's where it's at on your paper? Side 2. Why did you put it on side 2, Levi? And O, and what sound does the O say in front, Levi? Give me a sentence with the word front. Okay, the boy is looking front. Let's see if we think of a better one. Okay, we could say the boy is walking out front, like he's walking out front of his house. All right, flip it over on side 2. Now, I do not want you to start anything yet. I just want you to flip it over and listen for your directions. So on side 2, we have a word bank, and we're going to fill in the blanks on some sentences. Now, some of these words on here, you may have to use some skills that you have learned to sound out. So some of these have tricky spellings and maybe even spellings that you've not learned yet. But you guys have learned so much that I know you can use some strategies to figure them out. So you can chunk your syllables together, you can look at your tricky spellings, and you can always read the sentence to see if it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, that might be a good clue that you are sounding a word out wrong and you need to try something else. So we're going to start by reading all of the words in the box, and then we're going to put them in our sentences. So I'm going to call on readers. Amara, read this first word. Mother. And I want you to notice all of these words are going to have the sound. Amara, what letter in mother says Good. Read this next word, Holly.
Cover.
What letter in cover says The O. Ariella. Month. What letter in month says The O. Very good. Natalie. Money. Natalie, what letter in money says Good. Easton.
Wonder.
Easton, what letter in wonder says
The O.
Very good. Emily. Dozen. I like how you corrected yourself. You started to say the O sound and then you changed it to the sound. Good job, Emily. Marcel.
Trumpet.
And Marcel, what letter in trumpet says the sound?
U.
Philip.
Grumpy and U.
Good. Caleb.
Mommy.
Mummy. And what letter in mummy says the sound?
U.
And Xavier.
Thunder.
And what letter in thunder says the sound, Xavier?
The U.
The U. All right, I want you to watch me modeling reading this first sentence, and I want you to see if I make any mistakes. So you're going to listen carefully and see if I make any mistakes when I read this first sentence. We heard the blank before we saw the lightning. Did anyone hear something I did wrong in that sentence when I read it? What did you hear, KDA?
It's not lightning, it's lightning.
Lightning. So did lightning make any sense?
No, ma'am.
No. So if you're reading this and it doesn't make sense, you can say, oh, I should try a long I instead of a short I. Oh, so let's try it like that. We heard the blank before we saw the lightning. Does anyone hear something else? We heard the blank before we saw the lightning. Marcel?
Blank.
Well, I'm saying blank because there's a blank here. Does anyone hear another word that I might be mispronouncing? I might have read wrong. We heard the blank before we saw the lightning. What do you think, Xavier?
You changed heard into here.
Oh, so what should this word be?
Heard.
Heard. We heard the blank before we saw the lightning. Does that sound better?
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you guys are reading and something doesn't sound right, try it a different way. So you can try chunking your syllables up. You can look at your tricky spellings. So we heard the blank before we saw the lightning. Does anyone have an idea what might go there? KDW? Thunder. Very good. Everybody write thunder and then mark it off. All right, read number 2 and say blank where you see the blank, Ariella. My blank, not my dad, woke me up this morning. Who thinks they know what might go in that blank? Emily?
Mother.
Mother. Very good. Write it and mark it off. All right, I'm going to read number 3 and I want you to listen to see if I make a mistake. I wish I had some blank to be some candy. I wish I had some blank to be some candy. Amara, did you hear a mistake?
You said B and it's 5.
Oh. Does be some candy make sense?
No.
No. Let's try it with buy. I wish I had some blank to buy some candy. Is that better?
Yes.
Yes. So just like I did it when you guys are reading this, if it doesn't make sense, try another sound. Who can tell me what they think would go in that blank? I wish I had some blank to buy some candy. Kinsley, what do you think? Money. Kaden, read number 4 and say blank where the blank is.
I feel I don't get.
Restart it and say blank when you see the blank.
I feel blank when I don't get plenty of sleep.
I feel blank when I don't get plenty of sleep. Who thinks they know what would go in that blank? Holly?
Grumpy.
Grumpy, very good. All right, after you have that written, I want you to look at the 4 blanks that we have done so far, and I want you to go through each word and circle the letter that says the sound. So each word you've written so far, find the letter that says the sound and circle it. Very good, Carson. Good job. Good job.
The reason why I'm already done is because I did it on my way.
Okay, good. All right, I'm going to give you just a few minutes. You're going to do 5 through 8 on your own. Me and Miss Michelle will be walking around, and in a couple minutes, we'll check it together. So try 5 through 8 on your own. Sound it out.
Touch.
No, you're close. Sound out this part first.
Tut.
Tut, now add the S.
Tuts.
Tuts, that's his name, King Tuts. So King Tuts blank. All right, Carson, let me read you number 5, and I want you to tell me what's going to go in the blank. King Tut's blank was discovered in 1922. So King Tut is an old king who died a long time ago.
Yeah.
So what do you think would go in that blank? Here, let me see your pencil. We need to switch out what you wrote on number 2. So I want you to look at this word you wrote on number 2. So on number 2, we said that mother was going to go in the blank. And the word you put there wasn't mother. Can you tell me what this word is? Sound it out for me. What do you say? E. Mummy. So do you know what a mummy is? So a mummy is like an old wrapped up body. So do you think that would make sense? King Tut's mummy was discovered in 1922. Okay, so put mummy right there. And then put mother on number 2.
Hey, Miss Holly.
Yes.
I watched a video about King Tut, and it said maybe the way he died was because of an infected broken leg.
Oh, didn't know that. Okay, keep going. What do you need? You'll have to get a paper towel. Here, I'll get you some. Take those over there and put them on top of the Chromebooks. All right, read number 5. Sound it out. King. No, sound this out without the S first. No. Sound that out, each letter. Tut. Now add a S. King Tut's, that's the name of an old king. Blank.
Was
Discovered.
discovered in 1922.
So what's going to make sense there are the choices you have left. He's an old dead king. So what could have been discovered that belonged to him? His month? You've got to look and you've got to sound those out and figure it out. There's only one word there that would make sense. Good. If you're done, go ahead and circle the letter in those words that says the sound. Good job. All right, even if you're still working, we're going to go ahead and check it. I want everyone to check their work. Read me number 5, Easton.
King Tut's blank was discovered in 1922.
And what did you put in the blank?
Mummy.
And what letter did you circle in mummy?
You.
Very good. Read me number 6, Marcel. And Marcel, what did you put in that blank?
Cover.
And what did you circle in the word cover? Very good. Amara, read me number 7.
The blank is brass instrument.
And what did you put in the blank?
Trumpet.
And what letter did you circle in trumpet? And read me that last one, Caleb.
Did you know that 12 cookies make one? Do I have to say one?
Yeah, tell me what you put in the blank.
Did you know that 12 cookies make 1 dozen?
Make 1 dozen. What letter did you circle in dozen?
Oh.
The O. Very good. All right. I'm going to come and take out your papers. Make sure you have all of your answers filled in. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to switch gears here in just a minute, and we are going to look at our new reader. I think you guys are really going to like our reader this time. So as soon as I get your worksheets picked up, I'm going to call you by row to come and get your new reader. You're going to walk silently to me. You're going to pick it up, and you're going to take it back to your seat. And I want you to open up to the table of contents, but I don't want you to go any further than that yet. So if you sit at table 1, come and get your new reader.
This is weird.
Table 2. Thank you. You're welcome. Xavier, is that silently? So I'll switch that one out. These have been used, so some of them are coming apart a little bit. Table 3. All right, so thank you, Caden, for following directions. He has his reader out and he has opened up to the table of contents. All right, so our new reader is called called Sir Gus. And Sir Gus is about a knight who lived a long time ago. And a knight was a type of soldier who lived during a time called the Middle Ages. Everybody say Middle Ages.
Middle Ages.
And the Middle Ages were a long, long time ago, before America had even been discovered yet. And it happened in Europe, which is this red continent, the dark red. That is where the Middle Ages took place. Yeah, that's just our country, so you can't see Europe on that map, but you can see it on our map of the world up here. So knights were soldiers for specific kings, and their job, not right now, Easton, was to defend the kingdom. So we're going to find out about a knight, and his job was to defend a kingdom. And Sir was used to refer to the knights that had a special honor for serving their kings. So Sir Gus had some kind of special honor he got for serving his king. Now, Easton, what were you wanting to tell me?
So, when you said Middle Ages, another way to say that is medieval.
Very good, the medieval times. All right, so I asked you to open up to your table of contents. Who can raise your hand and tell me, why is the table of contents an important tool? What can the table of contents help us do? Alyssa?
The table of contents helps us know which story and what page it's on.
Very good. So it shows us all the chapters or all the stories in our book and the page it starts on. So someone raise your hand and tell me what page Sir Gus and his stuff starts on. What page does Sir Gus and his stuff start on, Kinsley? 2. Everybody turn to page 2. So while you're on your way, I want you to notice this little picture right here. And you can see a knight in the picture.
And the key.
And maybe a king in the background. Easton, read me this paragraph on page 2.
This reader tells the tale of Sir Gus, a knight in the past. There really were knights like Sir Gus. Knights helped kings, and kings helped their lands safe. Keep their lands safe. Here are some of the things a knight would have to use.
All right, so we're going to learn about some of the things a knight would have used back in the medieval times or the Middle Ages. All right, Sir Gus right here. So here's our knight. This is called a lance. Everybody say lance. So a lance is a long pole that knights would hold on to while they were riding horseback. So back then, did they have cars? No, so they would get around on horseback. And this was a pole they could hold while they were fighting their enemies. And they often would fight their enemies while they were riding their horses. Who can raise your hand and tell me what you think they might need a lance for? What's your prediction for what this tool could be used for, KDA? Maybe to swat at people with, okay. Maybe to knock things down with. Everybody touch the shield. Everybody say shield. So a knight would carry this in front of his body. Why do you think this would be useful? Why would the knight need to put this in front of his body, Natalie? Okay, speak up a little bit. I can't hear you. Oh, so if like something went towards their belly, they could block it? Okay, that's a good idea. So a shield sometimes could be decorated to give you information about the king. So sometimes they would have these decorated to tell about their king and about their kingdom. Everybody touch the spear. Everybody say spear.
Spear.
All right, I want someone to think of an adjective to describe what this spear looks like. Can someone think of an adjective to describe this spear? Ariella? Okay, so black. Who can think of another adjective to describe it? Philip?
A
Pointy. So remember, we're thinking of one word for an adjective, a describing word. Does anybody have another one? We said black, pointy. Easton?
I have two. So, sharp and long.
Sharp and long. Very good. Who can tell me why you think this sphere would be useful? What might you need to do with a sphere, Xavier?
So, throw it at somebody?
You might have to throw it at somebody. So sphere is a word that can be a noun or a verb. So when you're talking about like Sir Gus has a sphere, would that be a noun or a verb?
Either one.
If I just said Sir Gus is carrying his sphere, in that sentence, is sphere a noun or is sphere a verb?
A noun.
A noun because it is a thing. Thank you, Caleb. Now what if I said Sir Gus has to sphere the tree?
Verb.
Verb, because it's what he's doing with the sphere. It is the action. So a sphere was a helpful object if they needed to sphere something or if they needed to poke something. Everybody touch the sword. Everybody say sword.
Sword.
So when you're reading the word sword, you do not hear the w sound in that word. The w is silent. So it's just sword. So a sword would be used by knights to fight their enemies. Who can tell me, what do you think a sword might be made of? What kind of material would we use to make a sword, Ariana?
Metal.
Metal, very good. All right, let's see. Flip over to the next page. Read me the sentence, Amara. We're on page 4. What's this first word?
Knights rode on horse and helped defend castles.
Knights rode on horses and helped defend castles. Everybody touch the castle. All right, so castle is a tricky word. So if we sound out castle, it's going to be k-ass-ool. So you don't hear the T in that word, and the EL is pronounced ool, castle. So who do you think lived in a castle, KDW? Maybe the king and the queen? Good answer. So the walls, look at the wall of this castle. They were very thick because they wanted to protect the king and the queen and keep enemies out. Yes, it is made out of brick. And look at this big tall piece. That's the watchtower. Somebody would sit up there and they could see far, far away, and they could watch all the people in the king's land. Who's going in, who's going out. They could check for enemies. All right, everybody touch the knight. Everybody say knight. Now I want everybody to say armor. Armor. This knight is wearing armor. Look at all the metal on him. That is armor. Do you think armor was light or do you think armor was heavy? Heavy. Who can raise your hand and tell me why they would need armor? Why would armor be important? Kinsley? To protect their bodies. Very good. Carson, how do you think it would feel to wear all this armor? Hot, maybe? Heavy? Do you guys think it'd be kind of hard to move?
Yeah, because like the joints are good. And hard to see out of.
Yeah, it might be hard to see out of that. You think you could just hop off your horse and easily take off running with all that on?
Fall over.
Maybe. All right. Everybody say fears.
Fears.
Someone tell me an adjective. Remember, an adjective is the describing word. Give me an adjective for what you think a good night would be. What would be a word to describe a good night? KDA?
Loyal.
Loyal. Who can give me another one? Ariella? Okay, protective. Caleb?
Fearless.
Fearless. Easton?
Brave.
Brave. Very good. So those are all things that we think about when we think of a good night. And people actually called Sir Gus, they called him Sir Gus the Fearless. So fearless are the things people are afraid of, like spiders in the dark. So someone who is fearless has less fear than others, or they're not afraid of anything. All right, before we get started, I want to preview a few words that we're going to see. So lay your books down for just a minute. We're going to look up at the board. So first of all, I want to see if anyone remembers, what sound does KN make? It makes the sound. Let's read some words quickly that have the sound spelled K-N. Now, everybody read this one to me. Night. Read me this one, Holly. Knife. Read me this one, Kinsley. Knob. Read me this one, KDW. Not now. Remember, this can say another sound. It can say the O sound. Try it with the O sound. No. Very good. Read me this one, Kaden. Knit. Read me this one, Xavier. Very good. All right, now we're going to look at a spelling where O says the sound like we've been practicing. Read me this word, Emily. From. Very good. Read me this word, Alyssa. Very good. All right, now we're going to talk about where E-A says the E sound. Read me this first word, Ariana. C, very good. Read me this next word, Ariella. Peaceful, very good. KDA. Feast, very good. Marcel. This last one? It's not feast. What? Sound it out, Marcel. This says E. Fears, very good. All right, let's talk about some words we're going to see that we may not know the meaning to. This first word is odd. Everybody say odd. Odd. If something is odd, it's very strange. This next word, read it to me. KDA. Faint. Everybody say faint. Faint. When someone faints, they pass out and they fall to the ground and they look like they're asleep. Everybody say absent-minded. Absent-minded. If you're absent-minded, you're forgetful. So if I come into school and I'm forgetting what I need to be doing and I'm forgetting where my stuff is, I might say, wow, I'm really absent-minded today. Everybody say, Sir Gus always served him well.
Sir Gus always served him well.
That's a phrase that you're going to see today, and that means that Sir Gus always did the best he could for King Alfred. Everybody say well known.
Well known.
Well known means that you are known all around. So we could say celebrities, they're well known. There's a lot of celebrities. I could say their name, like Martin Luther King Jr. we've been learning about. He is well known. If you say that name, pretty much everybody could tell you who that is. Sometimes even people are well known, like the mayor. You could say the mayor is well known. Most of the people that live in our county know who the mayor is. So well known just means that you're known all around. All right, look back at your table of contents. Everybody flip back.
I'm one of the...
Someone raise your hand and tell me the page that the beginning starts on. Raise your hand and tell me the story, or page the beginning starts on. Alyssa?
Page 2.
Not page 2. Look again. The beginning, chapter 1.
Page 6.
Page 6. Everybody go to page 6. I'm going to be calling on some readers. When it's not your turn to read, you need to be tracking along. I may read some and leave some words out for you guys to fill in, so make sure you're keeping up. All right, so start reading for us and read until I tell you to stop. Ariana.
Long before you were born, in a place no longer found, there was a king. King Alfred was his name. King Alfred was in charge of a large land that stretched from the dark forest from the north to the sea in the south. The people of this land were very happy with him as their king. King Alfred liked to have them. He liked parts in peace.
All right, I want you to look back at this word right here for me. Not parts.
Paradise.
Nope, sound it out. See what makes sense there. He liked blank and feast. Art.
Parties.
Parties, very good. All right, keep going to the end of the page.
He was fair and kind, and he kept his people safe.
All right, everybody, now that Ariana read that first page to us, who can describe how the people felt about King Alfred? Who can describe what kind of king he was? Emily?
A nice and caring.
And how do you know he was nice and caring? All right, so they said they were very happy with him. They liked him. Next page. All right, you are going to read page 8 for me. Philip.
King Alfred could not do this all by himself. He had 12 knights to help him keep his land peaceful and his people safe. These brave knights, well, sometimes they were brave how to keep bad things from happening.
All right, very good. Next page. Read the first paragraph of that page and then stop for me. Xavier.
The most well-known knight of all was Sir Gus the Fearless. The king himself had given Sir Gus the name Fearless. This was an old name.
Not old. Look at that one again. Nope.
Odd.
Yep.
Name for Sir Gus was not entirely fearless. In fact, he had a lot of fears.
All right, so now we're finding out something about Sir Gus that we didn't know. Read the next paragraph, Marcel.
Sir Gus was scared of the dark. He was scared of mice and bats and spiders. He did not like boats and could not swim.
What's this word?
Could not swim. Shadows and loud noises made him faint, and that's fact lots of things made Sir Gus faint.
All right, stop right there. I'm going to read the last paragraph, and to make sure you're following along, I'm going to leave some words out, and you guys are going to fill in the blanks for me. Sir Gus had all the things a knight must have. He had a And he had a
spear
and
sword
but Sir Gus liked a long
sword
in a
bathtub
better than a.
fight.
Next page. All right, start this page and read the first paragraph for me. Let's see, Emily.
Cats and horses made Sir Gus itch. Something itching.
Hold on, stop right there. Go back to that first word that starts with the S in that sentence, Emily.
Sometimes
Good.
the itching was so bad that he would start jumping up and down.
All right, stop right there. So I want everybody from your seat, we're not standing up, act out what Sir Gus does when he starts itching in your seats. All right, so he starts itching so bad, he's jumping up and down. All right, stop. Read me the next paragraph. Actually, finish the page for me, Amara.
Sir Gus will rather
We're on the second paragraph. So Sir Gus, not will, what's that word? Yes. Let's break that word into two parts. So read the first part first. Absent. Now read the second part. So what's the word?
absent-minded.
Absent-minded.
Absent-minded. He got lost a lot and could
Rarely.
rarely tell which go to
Which.
way to go. Sir Gus found it difficult to get up in the morning. He looked to sleep and so he was late most of the time.
What's this word right here? Right here. This word right here, not looked. This L word.
Like
Yep. All right, do this last paragraph.
all in all, Sir Gus was a rather odd height, but King Alfred did not see this. What he saw was that Sir Gus always served him well.
All right, good job. All right, I want you to leave your reader out because I have some questions and you may need to look back to find the answer. So good reading today. Everybody that read for me, if you didn't read today, maybe you can read next time. So we found out some things about Sir Gus that might have been a little surprising from his name, Sir Gus the Fearless. Who can tell me an adjective to describe Sir Gus? KDA?
Non-fearless.
So what would be a word, an adjective, one describing word to describe him?
Scared.
Scared, okay. Easton, do you have another?
Unfearless.
Okay, so unfearless, instead of saying that, we could say fearful. We could say he was odd. We could say he was absent-minded. So I want to remind you when you're reading, part of being a good fluent reader is reading out loud where we can hear your words clearly. So I want to remind you when we read, I know I had a couple people say they had a little trouble hearing. Part of being a fluent reader is your good performance. So make sure we're reading out loud where the whole class can hear our voices. And even if you can't hear somebody, if you're tracking in your reader, you can read along with them. All right, so here's some questions. I want you to answer me in complete sentences. Raise your hand if you think you can answer in a complete sentence. How many knights does King Alfred have? If you need, you can look back in your story. How many knights does King Alfred have? Natalie? Can you tell me that in a complete sentence? Alfred.
Alfred had 12 knights.
King Alfred had 12 knights. What things make Sir Gus itch? What things make Sir Gus itch? Ariella?
Cats.
What else?
Horses.
Can you tell me that in a complete sentence?
Cats and horses make Sir Gus itch.
Very good. Cats and horses made Sir Gus itch. What are some things that Sir Gus likes to do? Look back in your book if you need to. What are some things that Sir Gus likes to do? Marcel, what are some things he likes to do? So go back to this page you were on. And I want you to look at this last one. What's something in that last paragraph it says he likes to do?
Long soak in a bathtub.
Can you tell me that in a complete sentence?
He liked to have a long soak bathtub.
He liked to have a long soak in the bathtub. What was something else it said he liked to do? There was something else he liked to do that you probably aren't thinking of when you think of a brave knight. What was the other thing, Caden? So he liked a long soak in the bathtub. What was the other thing he liked to do? I want you to be thinking of it while Caden's looking.
Fight?
Not fight. Let's see if we can find the other thing. Look in this paragraph right here.
So?
Read the last sentence there. Read it out loud. Start with Sir.
Sir Gus found
It. Difficult.
to get up in the morning. He went to sleep, and so he would wait most of the time.
So what did he like to do, Caden? Can you tell me that in a complete sentence?
Sir Gus liked to sleep.
Sir Gus liked to sleep, or Sir Gus liked to sleep in. Give me a thumbs up if you also like to sleep in. Now, do you think that brave knights who would go and defend their country, do you think, or their kingdoms, do you think most of them like to sleep in and take baths?
Yeah.
Probably not. So do you think that's kind of weird for a knight?
Yeah.
Those are kind of odd. So we're going to find out some more about Sir Gus as we keep going through our reader. Good job today, everybody. You may close your readers, and I'm going to come and take them up.
So what's wrong in the